Welcome to JAMPRO's Explore Virtual Do Business Jamaica Virtual Investment Conference. Today we have a very august panel of individuals, and I will be telling you a bit more about them shortly. We will be discussing Jamaica's tourism, immersive tourism experience. Tourism has been a long-standing pillar of Jamaica's economy and will continue as the travel experience in Jamaica has an improved list of offerings to the new world traveler. We plan to delve into the tourism landscape of Jamaica and highlight what makes Jamaica unique and appealing to both travelers and investors. Now, the gentlemen that are with me on this panel, Mr. Josef Forstmayr, Managing Director of the Round Hill Hotel, and Mr. Andrew Chapman, who is the owner of the Tiamo Villa in Port Antonio, are going to be discussing this topic with me. So let me start by giving you some information on who these gentlemen are. Joseph has been welcoming guests to the Round Hill Hotel and Villa since he began as managing director in 1989. Under Joseph's direction, Round Hill has won countless prestigious awards and accolades, including the World Travel Awards Best Villas for 6 consecutive years. And that includes 2021 as well. Congratulations, Joseph. They've also won the AAA's 4 Diamond Award of Excellence, the Brass Key Award for the Most Romantic Resort, and has been featured on Condé Nast Traveler's Gold List and Travel and Leisure's World's Best List. Joseph has a passion for all things Jamaican and has lived on the island since 1979. His passion and enthusiasm for Jamaica has led to his appointment in April 2010 as president of the Caribbean and Hotel Tourism Association. During his tenure from 2010 to 2012, Joseph raised the awareness of the importance of tourism throughout the Caribbean with the CHTA's Tourism is Key advocacy campaign. He's also dedicated to promoting locally produced products from beer and rum to sauces and agricultural products to support local economies. In addition, Joseph strives to strengthen local flavors of the various islands, promoting regional Caribbean cuisine through various culinary festivals and competitions. Finally, Joseph is working with the CHTA to promote the Caribbean as the best warm weather destination in the Western Hemisphere through a targeted regional campaign. He currently serves as a director of the Jamaica Tourist Board and chairman of the Montego Bay Arts Council Limited, which is also known as the Montego Bay Cultural Center. He is the Honorary Consul General for the Republic of Austria in Jamaica. In 2005, he received the Order of Distinction in the rank of officer for his contribution to Jamaica's tourism industry and was named Hotelier of the Year by the JHTA in 1993 and 1996, as well as Caribbean Hotelier of the Year by the Caribbean Hotel Association in 2007. Joseph was born in Steyr, Austria, and is fluent in German, French, and English. He was appointed as a Justice of the Peace for the Parish of Hanover in 2019 and attended the University of Salzburg, where he studied economic sciences and tourism. Now you see why I call them August, right?
And old.
So, and okay, we move over to Andrew Chapman. Andrew is a progressive hospitality and community empowerment entrepreneur who has created and invested in some of the world's most celebrated establishments. A third-generation native New Yorker, Chapman joined his family's commercial real estate business upon graduating from Union College. In addition, he launched and oversees Chapman Ventures, a curated lifestyle and hospitality company that includes August Restaurant, Blue Parrot East Hampton, Nice and Easy Mykonos, and Soho House Bombay, India in its portfolio. In 2010, Chapman created the legendary Red Rooster with co-founder Marcus Samuelson. The Red Rooster is one of the world's most recognized and celebrated soul food establishments and played a pivotal role in the turning point of Harlem's second renaissance. After visiting Port Antonio in 2015, Chapman set his development sights on Portland Parish, creating and curating several elevated hospitality projects, including restaurants, bars, ice cream shops, beach lounges, and I might add, a very nice villa, while spearheading a wide range of community development programs for the people of Portland. So a little further on in our discussion, we will be looking at Portland. But just to begin, we're going to be talking about the immersive tourism experience within the context of luxury, because both Andrew and Joseph are steeped in the offering of luxury. Their products connote luxury, and every word that they breathe is all about luxury. And with that, I just wanted to start out by saying that Jamaica as a destination is known primarily for its all-inclusive product. What many people don't realize is that Jamaica has had a very long history of working with the rich and famous and providing a luxury product for this niche of the market. And so I'm going to start off with you, Joseph. I wanted you to just kind of tell me a little bit about Round Hill. From a historical perspective, you have a long history of working with the rich and famous. And then I'm going to ask Andrew to tell me a little bit about his products as well. So over to you, Joseph.
Thank you so much. Yes, you're absolutely correct. Jamaica has, in the past, been sort of the main place where people of great style and wealth escaped from the usual trimmings of luxury. We're talking Palm Beach, even Cuba at the time was just overrun with rich people, and they wanted to seek that unique hedonistic place where they can let their hair down, be a little naughty, but still, be as elegant and as luxuriously in their lifestyle as they wished. And so John Pringle, a Jamaican entrepreneur who was son of Carmen Pringle, who was one of the first great women of the hotel business in Montego Bay with her lovely hotel called Sunset Lodge, found a need to provide for those persons, from the Astors to the Vanderbilts of North America to the aristocracy of Great Britain, who were looking for places to invest and to play. And so he decided to purchase a beautiful piece of land, a perfect peninsula, about 15 miles west of Montego Bay, called Round Hill, from the then owner, Lord Munson, to build his beautiful villa colony and hotel project called Round Hill Hotel. And in order to finance it, he used his beautiful wife, Liz, who was a famous fashion model. He always told me the story. He said, I used her money that she got paid for to be on the cover of Life and Vogue magazine to pay down the deposit. And then he went to 25 of the wealthy customers of his mother, Adela Stair, Sir Noel Coward, to sort of ask them to invest and build his dream Round Hill Hotel. And within no time at all, he had 25 owners, and they all started to build their 2- and 3-bedroom villas together with a 36-room hotel. And from 1953 onwards, Round Hill became the place to spend your winter vacations in the Caribbean. Around the Round Hill property, the other villas were developed by persons of similar tastes and importance. Lord Beaverbrook, the Duke of Marlborough, they all bought property in Montego Bay and started to build beautiful homes. So the 50s and 60s, all the way up to the mid-70s, became sort of a playground of people to hang out and enjoy themselves. And when I came in 1989, we had the tradition continued, albeit it changed more from the European sort of low-key crowd to more of the outstanding people in the movie industry, to persons in the fashion industry, and our calling card at Round Hill today is one of our beloved owners, Mr. Ralph Lauren. And he has come here on vacation with his family in the 70s and 80s, and eventually purchased 2 houses here. And I asked him once, I said, you know, why Round Hill? I mean, what is it that is so special about the place? And he says, Joseph, it's like an exquisite cashmere sweater. It never goes out of style, and it will always fit. And I think that's Jamaica. I mean, Jamaica provides that incredible, you know, palette of and that environment of hospitality, beauty, tremendous beauty, and great passion from the people. And Andrew, I'm sure will agree with that, that our most famous owners of homes, investors, building amazing follies, from the Westons at Frenchman's Cove in Port Antonio, to a Heine Thyssen with Alligator Point, to Sir Michael Rosenberg and his Dragon Bay development, the Baroness at Trident and Trident Castle. I mean, these were persons driven by passion for Jamaica. It was less about the return of investment, but they just fell in love with the place. And I think that's something that holds true to this day. And if we can package it properly, if we can ensure that we can also build the proper security in terms of zoning, development orders, environmental protection around that message. And I'm absolutely positive that Jamaica has a glorious future.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. So Andrew, I'm sure your passion is as equals Joseph's. And so I want to hear about your products that you are associated with, and what kind of drew you to Jamaica to begin with as an investor.
Great. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for being here. It's very special to be included in discussions such like this. Oh, excuse me. And yeah, and I never had a plan to come to Jamaica. I never found Jamaica. Strangely enough, Jamaica found me. I had always enjoyed hotels such as Round Hill and GoldenEye and Half Moon, and those are such iconic and wonderful experiences. But Jamaica is such an incredible island. And when I went touring around, I came across Portland Parish, and it was one of the least developed, but it's one of the natural splendor is nothing less than spectacular. And so I happened to stumble across a property that was owned by the former Aga Khan and his wonderful wife, Nina Dyer. And I immediately fell in love with the property. It's like Joseph said, Jamaica is a place you fall in love with. It doesn't always make sense, but it always brings you back. And it's that charm which really captivated me and made me want to continue the same kind of journey that I was on up in New York and with Harlem. I saw a neighborhood and I saw a culture with incredible potential that the world had not really fully realized yet. And it was I fell in love. I looked around and it really captivated my soul. And now I want to do my part in trying to elevate the hospitality sector in sort of the forgotten part of Jamaica, the least traveled to part.
Yes.
And it's very inspiring to me. And I'm going to do that through opening a host of projects and establishments that will hopefully be a big inspiration, not only to the local community, but to the tourism sector as well.
So Joseph spoke about, the passion, of the, that the product generates, the bond that you tend to form with it. You also have basically confirmed what Joseph was saying in terms of, the appeal of the product to you. Now, when you talk about an immersive tourism experience in Jamaica, what comes to mind when you're thinking of the luxury traveler, looking at products like what we have that have been steeped in history in terms of this segment of the market that we serve? What jumps out at you both when you think about an immersive tourism experience in Jamaica? Anybody can go first.
He lives in my favorite parish, Portland.
Okay, Andrew, go ahead.
Well, my personal opinion is that the definition of luxury itself is changing. Luxury goods are available everywhere nowadays, in airports and stores, and the world has been importing luxury goods for a long time. And for me, and I think for a growing part of the tourism sector, luxury goods aren't what they used to be. It's luxury experiences now that matter. It's about having an experience that you take with you, that you share with you, that you're a part of, and that's greater than yourself in a lot of ways. It's a culture, it's a music, it's trying different culinary things, and this is why Jamaica is so special. Now, if you want the word news, if you want news, it comes from the word new, okay? And there are a lot of imitation. There's things that can be manufactured. Tourism can be manufactured all over the world. But the truth of the matter is that Jamaica itself is one of the most extraordinary cultural islands on the planet. And its potential, not only with its environment and with its lagoons and waterfalls and its natural treasures, but you also have it in the agriculture and the culinary sector, and also in the coffee and the chocolate and the rum and the athletics. And this island doesn't lose, and you fall in love with it. And so that to me is the most special part. And to get a fully immersive Jamaican experience is to go to the Blue Mountains, is to pick that coffee, is to go down in the moonlight on the Rio Grande, it's to hike up different waterfalls. These are moments and these are experiences that will change you as a human being. And for me, providing those experiences of allowing a tourist to go and discover the real Jamaica, as well as providing some of the more immediate comforts, that's something that I look forward to making a big impact with.
Okay, Joseph, do you have
well,
anything?
Andrew is absolutely correct. It is all about experiences. And again, you know, I go back to our founder. And when I asked John Pringle once, I said, what sets Round Hill apart? Because it was built fairly simple with very open verandas, fully furnished, open to nature. And he says, you know, don't compete with nature. Bring nature into your living spaces. And therefore, many villas, not just at Round Hill, but all around, and I mean, even Andrew's Tiamo, they thrive on putting our visitors who have everything. They come from beautiful homes, they come from beautiful environments already. But when they come to Jamaica now, we surround them with indoor and outdoor living that they couldn't have anywhere else. I mean, we are blessed with our climate, we are blessed with our location, we are blessed with a beautiful environment. And luxury in Jamaica is defined by being able to live with indoor furnishings in an outdoor setting, something that is rare and unique. We are not being, you know, eaten up by bugs. We don't have to build all kinds of screens around ourselves. We can actually live with our environment in a much better way than many other warm weather destinations can. And at the same time, we have the people, as Andrew mentioned, that provide the amazing hospitality while you are enjoying all this beauty. That is so unique. That's different from anywhere up north, anywhere in the south of France, anywhere in Mykonos, anywhere in the Pacific. You know, it is uniquely Jamaican. And I think it also, once our visitors get it, and many of them do, it brings them back year after year, and eventually they wish to invest here, and they become either villa owners or investors, one way or the other.
Okay, so, well, you kind of segued into the next question I had for you, which is, what makes the clients that you have keep coming back to Jamaica? Many products, whether it's an all-inclusive product or whether it's a boutique hotel product, a non-all-inclusive product, tend to enjoy a fairly high level of returning guests. You know, what is that secret sauce that makes people come back again and again?
The people. I have to say, there's no other answer to this. I mean, it happens to us all the time. We do a really good job staying in touch with all our guests. We reach out to them. They send us back comment sheets. They can send us back special commendation. And I mean, one thing that always stands out is that unique connection that our Jamaicans provide to the visitor. And it's done in such a warm and natural way. I mean, yes, there's a certain level of training required but it all comes naturally. And I think that is such a surprise to so many of our visitors who come from, as I said, wealthy environments, but find it very difficult to really connect with people and don't feel that they're being served, but they feel that they're really being treated like one of the family. And that makes a big difference. And it creates that bond, and it brings guests back year after year, and it brings the children. I mean, I'm at a resort that's been around for over 70 years. We have families that have been coming here for 3 generations, and their children get married here. I mean, there's tremendous loyalty that comes with such connection. And it's not just because it's a beautiful place. I mean, there are many beautiful places. It is because of the people that work here, that live here, that provide that warm hospitality to our visitors.
Andrew, do you have anything to add to that?
I really don't. I think Joseph kind of, he was very articulate, and I just want to ditto exactly what he said. It is the people, it is the culture. It is, again, the most magical island on the planet, and it has unbelievable potential to become even more than it is already right now. And without the people and without the magic and the charm, it's captivating. And what we have to do as a community is to tell that story better, is to make people understand that you will fall in love with this place, unlike anywhere else in the world. And Jamaica has so many opportunities ahead of it. I think Jamaica's best days are by far coming up, and we're right on the precipice of that. So I'm very excited for Jamaica.
So, yeah, thank you for that, Andrew. And therefore, with both of you having or operating luxury products, you know, what would you say to the client or the investor who would say that Jamaica is really a mass market product? You know, there's no real place for luxury in Jamaica. What would be your pushback at a comment like that?
You know, I tend to be fairly straightforward. They always say, you know, I never want to be in, because the moment you're in, the next day you can be out. I'd rather be consistently excellent at what I do. Now, consistently excellent in all I wish to do. In order to be diverse, you need to have a product that is diverse. You don't just wish to have a product that is a one-sided product. Now, the fact that we are known as an all-inclusive destination is true, but it is true because our all-inclusive product is of a very high quality. A lot of it is homegrown. It is a Jamaican homegrown all-inclusive product. I mean, I'm always proud to say that Sandals and Super Clubs started in Jamaica. I mean, those are Caribbean brands of the highest quality. And we also have to understand that because of that ability to attract a more budget-conscious audience, we were able to get airlift. Now, it is not everybody in Jamaica arrives with a private jet. So we do need that balance of having enough of a more mass appeal in order to enjoy and make our visitors that enjoy a Round Hill or a Golden Eye or a Jake's on the South Coast to find flights that take them here. Otherwise, they wouldn't come. What is critical in our development, however, is that our government and our planning agencies realize that there are zones where special products should be encouraged. And when I look at Port Antonio, it is a perfect place that has yet to see any kind of mass movement on the tourism development front. It's the perfect place to encourage a boutique type development, exclusive villas, small exclusive properties that truly sort of aim for that high-end market. Now, mind you, we have lots of space on our side too, but I think as an investor, you'd like to know that specific areas, you're going to be safe if you invest your money, and you're going to not be surrounded by a 2,000-room hotel right next door. So there are balances and there are needs that investors will find. Port Antonio, as I said, is a perfect place for that type of development because of its rare and unique location as well.
Andrew, what's your pushback?
Oh, I've got a lot of pushback on that one. I would say that the world is becoming dangerously close to becoming it's just imitating each other. There's been a loss of authenticity in our industry. Hotels, things come up overnight. They're soulless. They don't have the culture or the depth of the experiences behind them. So what Jamaica will never suffer from is lack of authenticity, and Jamaica continues to recreate itself creatively, culturally, with technology. There's no challenge that Jamaica doesn't rise to in some way, shape, or form. And what excites me the most about Jamaica is, like what I've said before, it's incredible potential. And if people can't recognize that part about Jamaica, if people can't go into the Blue Mountains and see that coffee and see and hear the sound of those waterfalls and watch the sunsets and everything else that makes Portland and the rest of Jamaica one of the most unique islands in the world, then I think our definition of luxury is vastly different. And I have a pretty good feeling that the world is going to be coming to Jamaica a lot more for exactly the treasures that it has right now. So yeah, I think the world is starting to look an awful like each other, and Jamaica is going to stand out, in a good example.
Okay, so again, both of you have elaborated on the various attributes, and of course, for the luxury traveler, there are the possibilities of curated experiences, etc., to maintain their interests. Now, everybody knows places like Dunn's River. Everybody is familiar with the all-inclusive product in Jamaica. But there are many attractions that are undeveloped. There are many boutique hotels that cater for a similar clientele as you do, right? How do we grapple with the message that's out there in the market? Joseph, you had alluded to the fact that we're known as an all-inclusive destination. How do we change that perception? What can be done both from a private and a public perspective, public sector perspective, as well as a private investor perspective?
I do feel that Jamaica and the product, as Andrew correctly said, that already exists, that is of a very unique experiential type that really appeals to the luxury traveler. Plus the fact that we do get a lot of luxury travelers who need to work better with our partners in the industry abroad.
Okay. I think something just happened here.
Gone.
Okay, are you there? Okay,
I'm back.
We had a momentary lapse.
Yeah, so I think we need to put Jamaica also within the right context of the travel industry and our travel partners. And I know it's a commercial aspect of it, but there are the top consortia. There's everything from the Centurion card American Express traveler that recommends where their customers go. We are on the top of their list of recommended entities. However, how do we work as a destination with those planners? How do we bring them here and expose what we have so they don't just hear it because their customers ask for it, but they will actually recommend the destination? And I think there's a lot of work that can be done. I think Jamaica, in terms of its promotional aspect, in terms of its tourist board budget, should definitely allocate some funds to highlight those unique experiences, be it culinary, artistic, and that appeal to a unique luxury traveler, and make that travel partner of ours, be they in the virtuoso market, be they in the signature market, be they in the American Express, Centurion, and Fine Hotel Resort market, look at Jamaica in a new and a more exciting fashion. Right now, we are not as present as we'd like to be as a destination.
Andrew, your thought?
Well, I think everyone should go through Jamaica's established hospitality place. Everyone should go through Roundtail. Everyone should explore Jamaica that exists, because because it's a wonderful experience. I think it needs to be complemented, like Joseph said, with some of the other parts of Jamaica. We need to work with our partners. We need to work together and to plan tours and curated adventures and expeditions and interactive activities. But for me, the most important thing is to really boost small businesses and find people to help encourage and find the different ways that small business owners can now take pride in their establishments, and that we can trust and work with, so that there's a better distribution of wealth, instead of protecting all of the money in sort of the larger hotels. So for me, I would like to get out more into the, to the smaller towns, encourage more businesses through small restaurants, through small tours, and find ways to really partner with the Jamaican people, so that in our industry we can work together. So both on providing hotels, but also sharing that wealth, so that they can go and really discover all of the beautiful parts of Jamaica which have yet to be really discovered. And I think we need our cooperation and leadership in order to do that.
You're absolutely correct. And I mean, a perfect example. I mean, we actually work with a beautiful couple up in the hills of St. Anne, a restaurant called Stush in the Bush. I'm sure you've all heard of it. It's one of the most amazing culinary experiences ever. And I've had guests that go up there for lunch and they don't get back until midnight because they couldn't leave. They had to stay for dinner and an after dinner experience. And I mean, this is a good drive from here. It's a good 2.5 hours, but they're absolutely. Ralph Lauren's son, I sent him up there in a taxi. I was worried because by 2 o'clock in the morning, he still wasn't back, and I thought he got lost, but it's because he absolutely got it. It is that kind of getting it, where you have a unique experience, totally in an unexpected environment, served some of the most outstanding meal that you have ever eaten, because it comes straight from the farm that is right there, and it is prepared by the people who work the land in the most outstanding setting with all Jamaican ingredients. It's stunning, and I can highly recommend it. But these are the things and the highlights that we need to promote more, because it does eventually create that whole picture of a more wholesome luxury and in the island.
Right. And I agree with you both. There are many experiences that even as locals, Jamaicans have not even experienced as well, in terms of what the landscape has to offer. And for an immersive experience, I think, Joseph, the example you just gave of Stush in the Bush really is a very good example, because one of the networks that, of course, the Ministry of Tourism is promoting is that whole question of gastronomy, yes. Right? Jamaica is known for its food. Jamaica is known for its sports, its music, among other things. And the question of how do we really, incorporate gastronomy, for example, into that immersive experience. For example, we're even I've seen us on Travel Channel with Bizarre Foods, and the host of the program goes up into the mountains, finds a Rastaman who is making some kind of stew. They treated him to some other foods, which, I mean, I tell you the truth, when I was watching it, my mouth was watering. But, we would love to make this as an integral part of the immersive experience for somebody who is a luxury client, or even for an investor who is looking at Jamaica as a potential destination for his investment. How could we attract somebody like that? We know what it is. We've gone out into the countryside. But how do we get that spread out more to other people, get that message across to them that they can go up into the hills?
Andrew right there. I mean, he's best friends with Marcus, who is one of the leading sort of, chefs on the planet. I'm a huge fan. I mean, I watch everything that Marcus Samuelson does. And, and he has been to Jamaica, as a matter of fact, and he has cooked at Golden Eye. And And I think you're absolutely right. We need to get the Andrew Zimmers of this world and the Marcus Samuelsons, and we need to get them to Jamaica. We need to also work on the arts. I mean, I've been saying I'm the chairman of the Montego Bay Arts Council. We operate the Montego Bay Cultural Center, which is actually an outpost of the National Gallery. We call it the National Gallery West in Montego Bay. We are now starting to come up with a program so we can take some of the persons who go to Miami Beach for Art Basel every early December. I mean, Miami Beach becomes like the center of the art world in our part of the world. Well, we are an hour away, and we need to expose Caribbean artists a lot more. So that is one other aspect what we are working on right now. How can we tie together with the art market, which is already now visiting Miami Beach, just get them on a plane, bring them over here, create some exciting artistic gallery type sort of exhibitions, and or even take them into the hills and show them an Albert Artwell and a Dolores Anglin where they are painting, and see how we can promote Caribbean art that way. And it's not about the art at that point anymore. It's about the experience that someone that did not expect to run into this when they were going to Miami Beach, all of a sudden in Jamaica, they're going to have a completely different experience. And at the end of the day, they may actually start to appreciate some of the art here as well. So these are the linkages that I hope we can create, and that we can further enhance, and that will put a stamp of approval from another end on the destination.
Andrew?
Yeah, again, Joseph is right on the mark there. Jamaica has so much talent, and the culinary arts is in its infancy. And I think that what we have to do is sort of make a call to action, to all of the Jamaican chefs and the aspiring chefs, in the world. The campaign, we've got to bring it back to Jamaica, because we have the most incredible fruits, we have the most incredible vegetables, we've got fresh fish. We have the soil here. You can argue that the soil in Jamaica, in the Blue Mountains and the John Crow Mountains, is some of the finest minerals and soil in the world. So we're already working with the Garden of Eden here. We have the most incredible fruits and vegetables, and we have everything. So now we just have to bring the talent. We have to cooperate with our farmers. We have to train them if necessary. And we've got to work together. Jamaica's got to unite, and food is going to be a very, very powerful avenue to do that.
Right. So what I hear from both of you is we need more curated tours and experiences along these lines to kind of widen the perception of what Jamaica has to offer. And what is interesting is that Sotheby's has decided to, or Sotheby's has decided to have a presence in Jamaica, which I think sends a very strong signal to the global market. What are your thoughts on this?
Yes, certainly in the real estate world, Sotheby's is one of the leading brands, and certainly Jamaica's real estate values as they go within the Caribbean are still, we offer tremendous opportunities when it comes to owning homes and real estate that you would pay 5, 6, 7 times more in the smaller islands in the Eastern Caribbean, the English-speaking islands, that is. So therefore, Jamaica offers great opportunities there. Again, in terms of investment going further, I think I'll leave that to Andrew, because he again lives in that perfect place that they're all probably going to come down on you guys to see what's available in Sansan, Andrew.
Yeah, I have a feeling they're going to be here sooner than later, and I think that it speaks for itself. There is no more prestigious and established real estate company in the world than Sotheby's, and I'm not surprised by their move. I encourage their move, and I think that they are true professionals, and that's why they're here in Jamaica now.
So why are you not surprised, Andrew?
Because if you compare Jamaica to the rest of the world, it stands out. And once you come here, you understand the reasons why. You stop listening to the rumors or anything that might try to dissuade you from the sheer bliss and heartwarming experiences that you have here. And it goes from every sector of life. And I think now lifestyle itself is becoming one of the most important luxuries. This is what the pandemic has taught me, that the importance of a safe community and fresh food and clean air and beautiful blue water and everything else, that is luxury itself. And I think a lot of people are starting to realize that. And there's no better place with more creative and soulful energy in the world than Jamaica. So for me, the answer is pretty simple.
Absolutely. I have a waiting list, by the way, for persons who wish to buy a villa at Round Hill.
Wow.
There's nothing for sale. I have a secret file, and if anybody ever decides, I'll put it out.
Okay. Well, that brings me to the next question, because I mean, it was projected that the luxury market would actually reach 945.6 billion. Well, it was 945.6 billion in 2019, and growing at an annual rate of about 11.1%. Now, with the impact of the pandemic, we're all aware of what has happened with tourism globally. But you know, everyone has always said, whenever there's a crisis, that the luxury market will always be solid, will go through the test of time, will survive everything, you know. And I saw an interesting statistic where that in 2020, the luxury market only achieved about 54% of its targets, right? With respect to its impact in Jamaica, that particular segment of the market and how it has affected that immersive experience. What are some of the strategies that the industry has been taking to try to rebuild in this context? Because the pandemic has been so unpredictable. Every time you think that you're going to come out of it, there's a third wave, and there's a second wave, a third wave, and there's even talk of a fourth wave. You know, this is a very volatile climate for hoteliers to operate in, well, the business in general, but especially so for hoteliers who saw literally a nosedive in their performance when the pandemic occurred. You know, what are your thoughts on the survival of the market and the future of the market, especially for Jamaica?
May I? I'm very buoyant, because I have to give full credit to our ministry and to our minister and to our overall sort of public and private sector collaboration. I mean, Jamaica was at the forefront of developing protocols. I mean, we as you know, we closed the island on the 22nd of March. We immediately were convened as a group of private and public sector individuals together, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Development. The minister selected an outside risk manager from PricewaterhouseCoopers to combine all the different elements of what was happening. And in those days, we didn't really yet know what the pandemic will look like, what the outcome will be, and what it will actually do. But we knew it's going to affect the industry in a very negative fashion. We developed a 92-page protocol to allow the industry to reopen. And once, you know, an attraction, any kind of entity that operated within that industry agreed to establish these protocols in their own business, we were allowed to reopen, we had to be inspected, and then we were certified. Now, this was incredible. Jamaica was one of the first countries that actually reopened its borders on the 15th of June, 2020, before many other countries did that. Now, we created something that at the time, I remember that a lot of people started to sort of grin when they heard about the resilient corridor. You know, the north coast from Negril to Port Antonio, the south coast from Negril to Treasure Beach. And people said, that's not going to work. How do you keep a corridor? But I tell you, it has proven to be a huge success. It has allowed for all our business along the corridors to enforce protocols. I mean, you go into any supermarket anywhere in Montego Bay or in Negril, protocols are enforced, everything happens. Our visitors, one, are very impressed. They are able to move around. And we have one of the lowest infection rates within the tourist population. We are 0.5% of our visitors that come to the island test positive on COVID, which is uniquely low. We had a meeting this morning with the World Travel and Tourism Council because they looked at Jamaica as a possible candidate to show the world how to handle the pandemic within an environment of vaccination inequality, where we do not have as many vaccines as we'd like to have, or we didn't get it early enough, where we have a population that is dependent on economic activity, where you cannot shut down forever. And therefore, the Caribbean and Jamaica as a leader actually is right now seen as being the first ones to profit from that trend. We are the one tourism destination worldwide that is starting to see a bigger growth than the rest of the world, more so than the Pacific region, more so than the Indian Ocean, more so than anywhere in Europe or Latin and South America. So it's the Caribbean right now that's leading the way in terms of growth and potential. We see more airlift coming in because the airlines have to fly somewhere. And at least the Caribbean has strong policies and protocols that have proven successful and that work and that make our islands available for visitors. And I think that's one lesson we have learned, that we can depend on our common sense. We have a common destiny. There is no such thing as politics involved at this point. Everybody needs to work together and make this thing work. And I'm very, very confident that we will overcome whatever wave comes next. There will be more waves. There will be more challenges with this pandemic. But I feel strongly that persons ultimately will revert to being humans. They want to move. They want to travel. They want to experience. They want to protect themselves, but you know what? They like to know that they're in a country that gives them the fresh air, the clean food, the healthy environment, and that is surrounded by persons who themselves wish to live in such an environment as well. So I'm buoyant on this.
Okay. Oh, how about you, Andrew? Are you as buoyant? What are your thoughts with the impact of the COVID-19 and how it's been dealt with, even for your own product?
Yeah. I'm only comfortable speaking about Portland because that's the only part of the island that I've really gotten to know intimately, and I'm extremely optimistic that that property will only appreciate moving forward, because this is the perfect place to be in terms of a future pandemic or a type of lifestyle that people will want to look for after the pandemic that we've just gone through. There are not that many people here. It's beautiful, it's safe, there's natural splendor, there's lots of food, the water is spectacular. It meets all of the checklist is full of green check marks, because when I look around the world as to say, well, where would you want to be? Where would you want to live, to be happy, to have a really balanced life? For myself, I can't find a better place than Portland. And if I feel that way, I'm sure that a lot of other people will feel that way as well. And I also want to say that the Jamaican government has been extremely cooperative on every level. I was a little nervous coming in from New York. That's a city that I'm comfortable in, but I came down to Jamaica on my own and I wasn't sure what to expect. And they have been incredibly supportive of every idea, every venture, always giving me answers, always getting back to me. And I think that other future investors will see that you have a solid, stable, supportive government that will back you. And yeah, so my answer is optimistic, highly optimistic.
Okay, excellent. Well, as we know, Jamaica has established resorts right around the island, Montego Bay, Ocho Rios, Negril. We have the South Coast, we have Port Antonio. Both of you have a history with Port Antonio. Let's be honest, there are some challenges that, have been mentioned with respect to Port Antonio in terms of the infrastructure, etc. But as an investor, looking at Portland, what do you think are the prospects of the future for that side of the island, the eastern end of the island that has not yet been as developed as the northern and even the western side of the island? What do you think are the prospects for the future?
Again, incredible. Yeah, let's go back 10 years. Okay, 2 years after the crash of 2008, I chose to open up the Red Rooster in Harlem, an idea that everyone called absolutely insane. Okay, an 8,000 square foot restaurant in the heart of Harlem with a supper club underneath. As soon as we opened our doors, we had a 3-month waiting list. All right, we serve 800 covers at brunch. So one thing that I come from a real estate family, a 3rd-generation real estate family. I like to look ahead. I don't like to look at returns in the first year or two. I like to see where my children are going to be living. I like to see how I'm a generational thinker. Right. And when I've used those skills that my grandfather and my grandmother passed down to my father, who've passed down to me, I see that same potential in Jamaica. It is especially in Portland and in St. Thomas. It's the world is starving for this pure, this roots, this authentic communities, and it offers exactly what I think the world needs right now. And the only thing is that the storytelling and the messaging and maybe some of the establishments have got to rise up to that. But I'm so happy that it's been put to the side for a while and that it's been so difficult to reach, because that's preserved its charm and its soul. And as soon as we open up some more establishments, as soon as we create some more tours, and as soon as we create some more industry comforts, I have a feeling that the world will hear about this, and there will be coming. And all we need is to preserve that and not to overdevelop it, to maintain its real roots and its real authentic boutique charm. That's critical to the future of the survival of Portland and St. Thomas.
I agree with Andrew, actually. And I think the new road, obviously, between Kingston and making it more accessible from the airport. I heard about a development, a very high-end luxury villa and resort development at Bull Bay. That is in the works, in the pipeline, so to speak, before the pandemic hit. I also feel that that area of the island lends itself uniquely to high-end boutique type luxury villas, and it just continues the trend of what has already been achieved there over the last 100 years. Let's face it. I mean, it started with the Titchfield Hotel and Mr. Mitchell and Folly and Alligator Head and the Westerns at Frenchman's Cove and Dragon Bay Resort, and then obviously Tiamo and the Aga Khan and Nina Khan. And so it's just a continuation, and it will create again a draw for passionate people that don't just look at a fast buck, but that really wish to sort of create something unique in that beautiful space that exists there, and you have an amazing coastline. I mean, there is unspoiled places between all the way between Bath Bay and Morant Bay. I mean, you can't even count them on two hands.
Okay. Josef, okay, you're back, Josef.
Yes, I'm sorry. You just lost me, I think, no? Okay.
Yes, you're back. So at the end of the day, both of you have borne out very strongly that Jamaica is a love story, right? It's a story of passion. It's a story of diversity. It's a story of, the many offerings that are there. This is probably the fastest 45 minutes that I've ever done in a discussion. It's so interesting. So I just want you to just sum up, your thoughts in terms of, what makes Jamaica appealing, unique and appealing to both the investor and the client, just to give your top 3 or 4 thoughts on this to wrap up the discussion, and then we'll take it from there. Any recommendations, anything that you'd like to say?
I've lived here for 41 years, and I've seen tremendous progress. I have seen changes And I've seen Jamaica go from strength to strength. And that in itself is a great commendation through all crises. And many of them, some of them homemade, some of them international. We have grown year after year after year. And because of that, I think I'm confident that Jamaica has a great future, that it will be able to continue to attract the brightest and the best, and it will thrive.
Thank you, Joseph. Andrew, your summary.
I've been fortunate enough to travel to over 50 countries, and I've never fallen in love with a community and a parish like Portland. I could have chosen to continue my hospitality career anywhere in the world after the Red Rooster, and I'm going to do it right here in Port Antonio. Okay.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you hear, Jamaica is attractive to the client and to the investor. It has a lot to offer. There are so many opportunities to immerse yourself in the culture, in the various offerings that the country has, whether it's music, sport, gastronomy, whether it's enjoying just the natural beauty of Jamaica. And you can do, from an investor standpoint, you can do this with still very good returns. And from a client standpoint, you can do this and decide that you're going to come back again for more. So gentlemen, thank you so much for participating in the panel. We look forward to more discussions in the future. Thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Have a good
Thank
weekend.
you. It's been great to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.